What is going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Rage, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video to be able to bring to you. And today we're actually going to be looking at an EXODIA deck that I came across on DZ's channel, and obviously he got it from another player that he played. But we're actually going to be looking at an EXODIA one-turn kill and how you're able to pretty much draw your entire deck and just be able to just win on that first turn with no interaction from your opponent whatsoever. So make sure you drop a like and a subscribe onto the channel. It really does mean a world to us, and it really does help us out. And I definitely would recommend that you pick up this build if you are able to have the resources available to give this a go. There are some staple cards that actually do feature in other decks. Things like Chicken Game are actually quite popular. We do have Pot of Duality, if I remember right, that also features in a few decks as well. And there's tons of other things like Upstart Goblin, etc, etc. So make sure you pick this deck up, give it a blast. It is absolutely hilarious. It is so much fun. The only thing that will actually potentially counter this deck is going to be Ash Blossom and also Dron Lockbird. Two very popular hand traps, but most of the time you can actually get around them, and especially with Ash, you are potentially able to actually outdraw it, so you can actually get past it. But when it comes to Dron Lockbird, obviously that's the one that really kind of counters the deck. So obviously there is one major downside to this deck when it comes to that. The other thing is drawing into too many EXODIA pieces. So what we're going to see in the replay here, we use our map to be able to grab our Royal Magic Library. We want to put that on the field as early as possible to be able to start generating tokens. Now, I'm pretty sure there was a couple of times where I actually misplayed and probably could have activated it, because when you get 3 tokens on the library, after activating so many magic cards, you are able to actually get a free draw out of it. So there have been a couple of times where I actually kind of misplayed and probably could have done it one turn earlier in terms of like one spell card. But the main thing is you want all this draw power. You want to be able to just continuously draw cards, and then you use your Royal Magical Library to be able to go +1 at the very least. And this allows you to be able to just continuously keep drawing into those magic cards. And the main ones that you actually want to be able to look out for are Upstart Goblin and also Golden Bamboo Sword when it comes to that. But Double Summon is there to be able to put a second layer library on there, so you are actually able to go +2 instead every single time you've got 3 magic cards on board, which is why it's really important. I was very lucky to be able to get them so they're actually perfectly in sync now, so every single time I activate a card, we are able to get 1 token on both of those, so it's actually really, really nice. I was also quite fortunate when it comes to EXODIA as well, but I wasn't able to draw those as soon as normal. So Mallet is there to be able to just kind of reset your hand just in case, especially with some of these cards that we don't need. And we're able to draw into some of our stronger cards, like the Golden Bamboo Sword, for example. Now, the Magical Stone Excavation is there to be able to pick up extra copies of the Golden Bamboo Sword. So after you've used them, because that's one of your strongest cards, that's basically your pot of greed for the deck, you are able to use your Magical Stone Excavation to be able to send like dead copies of cards that are once per turn, to be able to send those to the graveyard to be able to bring back that Golden Bamboo Sword. It also allows you to be able to send some of the normal 2 of the normal pieces of EXODIA to the graveyard, because we do actually have a spell card that allows us to be able to bring back 2 normal monsters and add them back to our hand. But the rest is very self-explanatory. Basically, you just keep going through your deck. You just keep grabbing all those draw cards and just be able to just keep milling yourself, basically. And as soon as you've got all 5 pieces of EXODIA, obviously you win the game, just like we are about to see. So when it comes to the deck profile for the EXODIA deck, it's really nice and simple. We are looking at a vast majority of magic cards, but the main ones that you want to be able to look for, and this is the exact copy of the one that DZ actually posted, because it's a really nice synergy when it comes to the deck. You want 1 of each piece for EXODIA, so you've got the legs, you've got the arms, you've got the main piece. You've got 3 of the libraries, because you want to be able to get 2 on board to be able to obviously maximize your draw power when it comes to it. 3 copies of Upstart Goblin, just to be able to just like trade, it's card neutral. We've got our Terraforming to be able to grab our Chicken Games, because those are quite nice to be able to do. Card Demise, which is basically a +3 or +2, sorry, when you activate it, but obviously it generates additional tokens for your for your magical libraries. On top of that, we've also got 2 of the Magical Stone Excavations to be able to discard, to be able to grab something like our Golden Bamboo Sword, so we have 3 of those. We have our Dark Factory and Mass Production to be able to grab 2 normal monsters in the graveyard, and it is 2, it is not up to, so therefore if you are looking to be able to discard any of the EXODIA pieces, make sure you discard 2 of them to be able to grab them back, but no more, no less. We have magical mallets to be able to obviously reset our hand and also count as an extra token when it comes to, spell counter when it comes to that. Double summon to be able to get obviously our second library on the field. Into the Void, it's just a standard draw one card. Obviously make sure you have 3 cards in your hand when you activate it. Potter D to be able to excavate and draw and pick one of the cards that you actually need. But we don't worry about special summoning, so we don't need to worry too much about that. We have our Foolish Burial Goods, just to be able to send any kind of spell trap that we want to be able to go to the graveyard. I found that most of the time you want to be able to either send some of the maps, especially because you can only activate this once, but also you could also send something like maybe a Golden Bamboo Sword if you do have a Magical Stone Excavation on board to be able to activate and grab that straight from the graveyard. We have 1 Broken Bamboo Sword, just to be able to help trigger with the bamboo combos. We have our Cursed Bamboo Sword, which allows us to be able to return some of our bamboo cards back to hand to be able to activate again, to be able to get another counter. And then we also have 3 copies of Chicken Game. The other monster that we haven't talked about is this one. I am not going to try and pronounce that, but basically you kind of set it as your pendulum scale, and then you can destroy it straight from the field. And what that does is it allows you to be able to get an additional draw. So if you have no cards in your extra deck, so make sure there are nothing here, destroy this card, just draw 1 card. It's nice and simple like that. And that's pretty much all it is. You can have a lot of fun messing about with this. Is it competitive? I mean, if you can consistently go first, then by all means, it's definitely plat worthy, as long as you memorize what cards you are actually looking out for. But when it comes to it, it's mainly for fun. It is quite fun to be able to do so. Yeah, it does put a smile on my face every single time I actually get this combo to actually work. So I highly recommend you pick this up, give it a go, and yeah, just let me know how you get on. As always, thank you all so much for making this way to the end of the video. Thank you all so much for looking at the deck breakdown, and I hope you've enjoyed the gameplay that was shown at the start. As always, thank you so much to the Babylonian family for all their continued support, and you'll see their names at the end of every single one of our videos. And as always, keep yourselves safe, keep yourselves well, and I'll see you all on our next video.